What's going on out there, everybody? Skyton Academy back at it again for another episode of Dot Connect Wednesdays. This is episode 45. And before we get into the steak and potatoes of what today is about, Steve got a message for you guys. Steve, what's going on, brother?
Can't even call it. So I'm putting the call together. I'm like, you know what? Let me wait to purchase so I can kind of walk everybody through it. And I got hit so bad with these fees. So the first thing I did was, matter of fact, this is about Hello TV, right? That's the Web3 network that's going to make crypto and blockchain related content, right? So they're launching this week is episode 1 of like 12 maybe. So they had a pre-buy. So you can buy each show or you can buy the entire series. You're buying it in the Hello token. Right. So I've been put y'all onto this. This is old news, but I'm just giving you the recap now. So for those of you who executed, you know what I'm talking about as far as pricing from the time I said it till now. So when this thing launches, their first show is going to be called Killerwhales. So it's the new way of the direct competitor to not even a competitor, just Shark Tank, right? So they got a bunch of guys, Scaramucci, NFT creators, just people within the community are going to be pitched to. So now we're going to be able to see some projects and whether or not those projects get picked up. A lot of them are on the blockchain already. So one of them that I gave you is FX1 Sports. I've been saying it and I highlighted it probably one good time when I showed you what the industry was. I said the reason it's going to be poised is because I knew that it was going to be on this show. I just didn't know which episode. So it's actually episode 2. So they already had something like 1 million something subscribers already. So this is going to be like a global thing. So as these projects showcase and they get picked up, similar to Shark Tank, they tend to all be successful. But with crypto, you don't know if you're buying or selling the news. So you might run across some of those type of projects too. Bugging, my mic was, how'd that sound? All right.
You sound good, but you sound crispier with the mic on.
All right, yeah, it was over there. Yeah, so I had to go shoot something today because I felt like a dummy. I'm like, wait a minute. ETH is still doing this? I couldn't believe it, man. And I could show you better than I could actually tell you. So watch this. Watch how dumb this thing is.
This shit is trash. Not only is the network bad, but look at the fee. And this is only the same. $12, guys. That's it. I just want to send $12. It's going to cost me $2,300. Stop it. Trust me, when that interoperability is fully connected, those big projects on that layer 1, they're out of there. ETH is like Yahoo.
Oh, snap. Oh, coins.
This Yahoo. So as I'm doing that, of course, Instagram being, the great connector of things, they throw a Charles Hopkins clip at me where he's killing Solana. I mean, killing him. So hold on, walk with me now. This is the funniest. What's volume on this thing? Okay.
That bottom corner.
Yep, I see it, but I'm gonna start over.
Solana, it seems like you were quite a fan of their network. Collaboration with Solana would actually make a lot of sense. My brother, a little bit of lore in the family, my brother, before he became a doctor, actually ran a very successful business. It was called NintendoRepair.com. And if I probably on Wayback Machine, you can see all of his inventory and the things that he did. But let me tell you, he did some great work he would make for the old NESs like custom molds and actually create the new lids, because the lids would always break on the old Nintendos, and he actually got new pins made for the Nintendos because the original ones were made of too flimsy of a metal, and what happens when you push the game in too hard, it would bend the contacts. That's why when you blow on the cartridge, it actually makes contact better, because it provides a kind of a conductive fluid for it to go from the cartridge to those little pins that get bent. So the ones that my brother would make were made out of a stronger material, so when you put them in, it would fix the flashing light problem on the NES and so forth. So I was thinking, since Solana comes from that world, that maybe there's some legacy there. We can figure out how to turn it on and off, take it in and out, blow on the cartridge, these types of things. I don't know. It might be possible. But my brother doesn't do Nintendo stuff anymore. He's a doctor.
Yo,
Yeah, listen, this guy is wild. So, if you don't know, Solana had another network outage. And I mean, I've been touting it for a while now, but that part, man, he called that shit Nintendo. He did all that to take you all the way there. I'm buying some more ADA.
right.
That boy, he's in it for the long haul. He's gonna die with that project.
Yeah. And just for those who do not know, he was one of the original creators and founders of Ethereum. So, that's just the FYI for you guys. So he has a different type of, eagle's eye on that project. He knows the inner workings. So you guys are about to start to see a lot of bad things come up out of that whole ETH situation. And all our 1%ers, y'all already know about ETH Gate. So,
Oh, we're actually dropping ETH Gate too.
Yeah, for sure.
Hold on while I'm here.
Let's spread that love, man. Make sure y'all get that edification.
Hold on while I'm here. Where's the pop-up now? Yeah, I just want to be able to buy this show, man. That's it. That's it. I could have had it on Mexi. I could have just transferred it to their wallet and the transaction would have been done. What? I don't want to hear nothing about ETH at all. Man, those projects are holding that thing up.
Straight up.
There's some stuff that we're going to start dropping on you that's tied to ETH though, with some AI. Yeah, the AI is offering a whole different level to this to the space. I'm impressed. Yeah, crypto on its own was okay, but now it's like that's just like Voltron.
Yeah.
That joint. Yeah, that joint gonna be fast. So I went to Skyton Pay and I bought $20. I knew the show was $11.99, right? All right, $20 will work. I send the $20 to my MetaMask, and now I got 20 in there. I go to the website to connect my wallet, and then when you go to make the purchase, it's telling me yesterday that the gas fees, look at this shit. Now it's down. It was 3,000 before. It's a little better. This is how much they're charging right now. I got to send a whole ETH to send $11.99.
That is wild. So, Steve, do me a favor. Before you X that out, scroll back down to the fee. So, Altair, he asked something in the chat. He said, why do projects load on ETH if the gas fees are so much to purchase the tokens? So I'm going to turn this into a teachable moment before Steve proceeds, right? Without a whole lot of words, just to tell, right? So with ETH, projects come onto that platform because there's an abundance of other projects who are on that blockchain itself. The reason it is easy for, quote unquote, easy for projects to build on top of ETH is because the competitive advantage has smart contract integration, right? But ETH this is one thing that a lot of people don't know. ETH has always been in beta mode, right? It is never fully launched and is still not 100% ready to launch because of this. Now, the reason they're on proof of stake, they went from proof of work to proof of stake, right? So the reason that this fee is so high is because if you read the message, it says right now that the network is busy, which means there's a lot of people that is on the Ethereum network right now trying to make purchases, trying to do transactions. Now, with that being said, the amount of people that are on that blockchain at one time at any given moment is what's going to determine your fees. So you have no clue when it comes to sending any kind of transaction, what your fee is going to be until you actually go to perform your transaction. That is why this blockchain is not going to succeed in the grand scheme of things. You cannot have the global reserve currency being Ethereum. No way possible, because the fees won't allow you. The fee is normally more than the transaction. Prime example, he's only trying to send $12 and it's telling him his fee is $2,750. That's insanity, but that's the answer in short. Ethereum just isn't it. Proof of work and proof of stake just don't work. Hello.
We're done. That's it. I hope y'all took y'all notes. God damn. You haven't went there in a minute.
Yeah, man, I'm in my bag right now, man.
That was good. Oh, look, it's 3,000 now. Hold on, let me buy it before it goes to 4,000. Look how much it is. Look.
3,000. Oh,
you know how much I could buy for 3,000?
say that, man.
Yeah, so listen, I can't even make this up. I just want to buy the show. That's it. So, guys, there's two reasons why I want you to think about supporting this show, right? One, it's a dope project, and the show has everything to do with projects that we're researching, and there might be a bunch of companies that we don't even know about. But every single one of these companies will be able to track if they're not already on the blockchain. So we'll be in position to, get in kind of early or ride a little wave. But be careful, because these dudes, they might buy in and dump it, and dump on it too.
Absolutely.
But that's where you got to put the project through its through the test. If it's a good project and they got capital coming in, all right, we get to grow with it.
Yeah.
So in doing that, we were one of the first to invest or support a Web3 network. This is just a wave. Like, you'll be able to customize your TV experience, put it that way, because everything can be fractional. You real time, buy this, cancel that, see that. The system's about to get smart. So this is good research for us to come together, weekly as they drop and just kind of kick it and strategize.
Yeah. FX1
Sports, you can get in now. That joint 5x already from the time I put it out.
You drop, yeah, that's a fact. And hello, when we drop hello, just the screenshot for that rise was parabolic as well.
I don't know what else to say. You just got to pay attention.
We still going on I Told You tour?
I don't know if I got the energy for that. We got so much speaking engagements coming up. Yeah, they're ready for the smoke now. I'm starting to see people coming around. And I think on top of that, we're just presenting differently.
That's true.
We got everything out that we needed to get out. And now we just got to get on the road. What's Herman say? Championships are won on the road.
On the road. Facts.
So we've been home a lot more than we've been on the road. But then when we're out, we're crushing it too.
Yeah, no, it's a fact. So
drop this link for you guys.
For this Killer Whale show, I provided the teaser when we sent this out to you guys, along with the link. But the significance behind that is this show is actually a game changer for cryptocurrency. So a lot of a lot of thought process went behind this TV show. It was 2 years in the making, right? And I follow one of the CEOs, and he was basically saying this puts crypto on front stage. Now, the great part about this is when you put something like crypto as a whole, this entire market space, when you put this in front of a lot of people, you usher in mass adoption because you're putting a spotlight on it. But the great thing that I find genius about this show is the fact that they're showing how people can literally turn into mush in front of a panel when they're discussing their project, and you are scrutinized and you're literally in front of investors. And these are not just everyday investors, right? These are people from different professions, different industries that are going to come, and they're going to be part of the scrutiny. So as a project comes or a CEO comes and they have to basically present what their, ecosystem is doing, what the project is about, what problem does it solve, etc., they have to answer this stuff in real time, right? So that's what I love about this project, is because we have to do this as researchers, right? As instructors, Steve and I both have to take the time to read things. We have to read what the project is about. We have to, check with the community. We have to see what the if the execs are doxxed. We have to, see what problem this solves. What's the use cases? We have to read white papers. So when you see the amount of work that we put into these projects before we even present them to you or before we get into them, you guys now are high level. If you've been with the academy, how we give it up. But now you guys operate at that same level, that same capacity. So you have to put everything through a litmus test. As you do that, you now see the value in information, right? So now when these guys are coming in front of these different investors, you say the wrong thing or you can't answer something about your own product, it's a wrap. And then now you're putting millions, potentially millions of eyes in front of this. And this is crypto based. So remember, you're paying for this show in cryptocurrency. So the people who are purchasing the show are going to be people that's in crypto. So now the people who are viewing this, they're already in this profession. They already do this. So you're going to be able to tell if somebody is shooting you, shooting the shit. Excuse my French, but you're going to be able to tell. You can identify that. So I really like the show and I like the idea behind it. I don't know who are all the people that's going to be on the panel, but I did see a couple of them, and there are some people that's Grammy Award winners, TV execs, people that's in financial markets. Crypto Wendy, I know she was on there. She's one of the panelists. So they got some people that's educated that kind of know this space. So it's definitely no fluff. But I mean, we haven't seen the first episode, but based off the clips, I think this is going to be incredible, and this is good for for crypto as a whole and us as retail investors. So I think this is dope. Steve, you on mute.
I was pulling something up for y'all. So I broke down FX1 Sports on a strategy Sunday call. That was what I gave them.
Okay.
But since then, their visuals have been kind of, I don't know, they haven't really been around. Yeah, they used to have visuals on their website.
This is FX1.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like they took them down.
And that project's up since you gave it too.
Surprised.
Mhm.
Surprised.
Yeah, this is actually it's actually a great entry right now, 6 cents.
Okay. Oh, man, yeah, they must have took those videos down because those videos were pretty they were showing you everything. Anyway, no problem. I
And
can
I'm
do
gonna
it with
put the links in the chat for y'all too. Steve already gave them to y'all, but I'm gonna do y'all solid and just drop these in the chat.
All right. So FX1 Sports is it's where AI and blockchain meet the sports betting world, right? This is that powerful tool I was telling you about. So they've coded this to touch on all types of data points on top of any sports game. So let's say it's an MMA fight. They can tell you how many punches were thrown. This thing is working at like a 92% accuracy rate, right? So it's more accurate than the ringside judges. It could tell you how many punches were thrown, landed, missed, power, all sorts of things. Now, think about this. It's generating so many data points in real time. And then the sports betting part of it is a peer-to-peer betting pool. So now you're not going up against a house or a Sharky, whatever they call them dudes, right?
Yeah.
Them dudes. So it's peer-to-peer. So now they got a whole bunch of data points. So let's just say every single thing I just mentioned could be a bet within the first 10 seconds, the next minute. You see what I'm saying? And people are just putting in real-time bets. Boom, 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 boom. And then it's divvying it up. FX1 Sports makes money on fees, but it's not going to be like the dude, that bookie, they break your legs sometimes, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Those guys. So this is disrupting a big sector of the sports betting world. Trust me, these young kids, they want to, this is how they work, man. You see these dudes with them Apple goggles now, they're wilding. And the tech behind that is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I'm telling you. Those are good. 3,500 is crazy, but
Sure.
I've seen dudes with case use on it, and I'll get back to it. So FX1 Sports, guys, now they're going to do this with baseball, basketball, football, you name it. Every sport is going to have data points. And then they're going to be doing real-time betting. And it's peer-to-peer, small fees. Everybody thinks they're going to win. Everybody's on the opposite side of something, especially with sports. So now you can go from, Vegas is kind of limited, right? If it's a basketball game, you might have, you got the standard stuff, the score up and down, the margin, who this, what, but we're talking about every single, if such and such has the next steal, like it's all probability too.
Yeah.
And as long as the system doesn't have interest in being the house and winning all the time, that's just going to work. Because that's the problem with the gambling system is that thing gets integrated into the actual sporting event.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's been documented before. People have pleaded guilty to this. I had a baseball coach, Bennett Salvatore. He's an NBA coach, but he wasn't part of it. But he came up in that era with that Donahue kid.
Yeah.
That was throwing the games. But that's nothing we didn't know anyway.
Right.
So I'm just telling you that now you have these new companies that are changing the way that it's done. Right? Because you can watch a fight and be like, oh, he won, but then the scorecard tells a different story. It's always two fights you see. The fight you saw and then the scorecard. I believe in this one.
FX Sports.
I believe in that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they bought on a guy the other day. Geez, man, they changed this whole thing up. And I act like I didn't know I was talking about this today. Yeah, they bought on a guy who has MMA and experience within those opening up doors. So now he's on board. This is going to happen with or without the approval, right? Because they're applying for a gambling license right now, here and internationally. So once they get approved for that, they're putting out a new method of gambling and sports betting. That's it, because the standard method is what? You just watch the game and then they tell you whatever the bet lines are and then you pick it.
You pick, yeah.
This is interactive. You're picking it as it's going on by the second, no matter where you jump in. Y'all see where I'm going with this? This is every major sporting event. I see the major, I see the owners rocking with this. There's big money in this. You make that company, work on some licensing with those guys.
Yeah.
Because DraftKings is kind of the play now. Dead.
Oh, too.
Trust me. Mark the time and the date. Dead.
I bet.
They don't got enough capital to buy this one out. No way. These guys own the technology. They don't need the bread. And they're about to be on Killerwhales. So you see the connection here? Don't be dumb. The Hello token is on MXE. So, grab a couple of those. Do your own research. It's not financial advice. Right. And then FX1 sports could also be bought, right? That's why I'm not even tripping on this right now, because whatever. They can be bought too on Uniswap.
Uniswap, yeah.
But Lord knows what the fees are right now.
And right now, it's a lot of volume right now.
What's the way? 99?
Shit, I can only imagine. Go probably 5,000.
$3,000 to send $12. This shit is like Venezuela over there.
It's so crazy because these guys are making a killing just because there's an event happening in crypto and people have to use the blockchain at this particular time. This is pure insanity, man. This is not what transactions should be like. Like, just imagine like you trying to buy something for $12 and you really have to pay damn near $3,000 in fees. Like, that's wild.
You better off not even saying anything. Somebody's paying those fees, though.
Oh, for sure. Right now, they're paying this.
People got to get things done. But damn, what the fuck, though? That's not good.
Yeah, that's horrible, man. That's why this is the year, man. This is the year of blockchain transactions and even Ripple. They just put out some news yesterday and today. David Schwartz, him and Brad Garlinghouse, they both doubled down. It was like, listen, 2024 is the year of blockchain transactions, so interoperability is a hyper focus. And anytime you hear that word interoperability, that just means they're trying to make it easier for everybody to transact across multiple chains. So,
Chainlink.
ooh, powerhouse.
There's a couple others too.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
There's a couple other ones. There's a couple AI generated joints. Bro, this tech is getting smart. Yeah, FX1 could be purchased on Uniswap. But Lord knows. Hold on, let me see. Let's see what this looks like. Give me the max. $20, $19. I'm only sending $20. This would happen. You remember when I told you how much I put into it? And I'm like, yo, by the time it got to me, I was so tight.
Yeah.
But guys, that's one of those things, like when these things are on when they're on the decks, you're getting them like below value, right? So those are the 0.0002s, like the Helium Mobile, that start knocking out zeros, and all of a sudden it's like, those things happen all the time.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, Helium Mobile is on Coinbase roadmap, so they got approved.
Yes, sir.
So we know what historically happens on Coinbase. It's gonna put eyes on that project. not only will money be pumping in there, I think there'll be a sell-off quick though. So if you're going to try to sell some profit, you better put the limit order in now and have it sitting over there. It's they gave a lot of rewards away. So the next spike, people are going to be out because they seen how it performed. Remember, we went to 7 dudes in the group were like, yo, I got 50K. What should I do? I'm like, let it ride. And the shit just to never be seen again. Like 002 now. I mean, still, we knocked off a 0 by the time I bought it in. So, I just know how crypto is. So Coinbase historically 30, 35% price increases for projects. This one is a different project.
Yeah.
They're going to see $20 cell phone that people may be signing up. Now, the only thing really holding back that crowd is if you owe money on your phone, it's locked with the carrier. That's what got rid of contracts. They weren't doing us no favor when they did that. Like, all right, $1,000 phone. Oh, we'll finance it for you. No interest. Don't worry about it. 2 years. That's the contract. I jump ship. I'm out.
Yeah.
I've been just earning my little rewards and adding to another deep end project. That's it. A little cash here, a little cash there. And by the time the masses hear about it, that's what we're doing now is accumulation. That's the game we're playing.
Yeah, for sure.
Accumulation.
So Rocket, he asked, does that mean you can only sell on Coinbase, when those type of things happen? No. To answer your question, I wanted to so everybody gets that gem. No, it just basically means, whenever Coinbase lists something, they put it on their roadmap. There's a lot of eyes on it. There's a lot of volume that goes on with Coinbase. So anytime they have listings, they're basically telling you in advance, this is what they're about to list. So this is going to become an option. It makes it easier and lowers the barrier entry for purchase. So people don't have to worry about swapping and all that stuff. You go right on the app, just purchase it. Just makes it easier. But the people who are previously positioned, like us, we always stand to make money when that price increases. So that's all that means.
Yeah, you want to catch them before they get to these big centralized exchanges.
Yeah, for sure.
And they come out early. You just got to do some wacky, you might have to pay 20 for 20, but just know that you got it now.
Yeah.
So that's not a crazy price. I just got $20. I got to send more money.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody wants to, hit that wallet up with something, tap in.
Yeah, not for sure.
Tap in if you learned anything tonight.
You
gotta turn that monetization on.
Oh, I actually read something today too. They increased the I guess the ease of being able to monetize and things like that on YouTube on the platform. So you have 500 subscribers, you can monetize the channel and earn money. And then earlier subscribers with 1,000 subscribers are eligible to make money as well through the platform. So they're trying to change up the model, which is in itself, this is Web3. Everything is about streaming and everything is digital now. So people aren't really sitting in front of their computers. You're using these type of means and you're watching YouTube on your cell phones or tablets while you're on the go. So they're just trying to make it convenient for people. And then now there's ways you can make money while watching.
This is it, guys. I'm telling you. I dropped my wallet in there. So if anybody wants to fund them, it's just that I just want to watch a show. That's it. I'm not asking for too much, and I ain't got it. I mean, I did the right thing, man. I don't have another $20 for this shit.
Yeah.
Y'all find it in your hearts. All right, yo, so I'm a scoot off, but this is the last thing I'm gonna leave y'all with, right? Because it came on my plate today, and I kind of knew some things and I didn't know most things, right? So I'm back on my bullshit again. So I took a long break off of calling shit out. Who do we start with? Obama?
Yeah, man.
Okay. And this, what he said didn't really relate to crypto. So I just want to be clear on that. But just it does at the end of the day. Just watch it. If you ain't already see it. All right. This guy.
In fact, you can't crack that at all. Government can't get in. Then everybody's walking around with a Swiss bank account in their pocket. We now have to ask is if technologically it is possible to make an impenetrable device or system where the encryption is so strong that there's no key, there's no door at all, then how do we apprehend, how do we solve or disrupt a terrorist plot? What mechanisms do we have available to even do simple things like tax enforcement?
Let's talk about it. All right, Obama, let me take it over from here. Stay out the way. First of all, taxes aren't even legal, right? It's optional. That's a topic for another day. You've sold our government to private companies that are squeezing everything out of us. Now, from the terrorist standpoint, I get what you're saying. You may have a point there, but the problem is the top terrorists are in the government. It's you. It's your cronies. So what do we do about that first? Just because you could label someone a terrorist doesn't mean they're a terrorist, and it really takes one to know one at the end of the day. So this is the power of this technology. And I keep telling you guys, get in position. You're either going to fuck with them or you're going to ride on your own.
In fact, you can't crack that.
So listen, I said this when we first started the university, between 2022 and 2025 is going to be a financial revolution in the world, right? And y'all see the shit is just heating up right now. BRICS Nation came about, they're growing. We haven't even gave you updates on that, but people are signing up left and right.
And today,
Right.
today they just banned the US dollar, 8 nations, 8 countries.
Okay. You got some big things happening right now. Evergrande, China's economy is like on a shoestring. You know what I'm saying? So every country's in a lot of trouble right now. You know, this ain't everybody's shaking. You know, if the US dollar is collapsing, that means everything around it is collapsing. And they're hurting more. So if our inflation is where it's at, and you see what we're paying out there, theirs is even worse. That's what was the luxury that was afforded to us. Right? We're able to put bad paper on other countries to sustain ours. So we crush their monetary system just to make ours stable at home, and they got to pay 5, 10, 15, 20x what we have to pay. Now the whole thing's up. Right? So I'm first generation Haitian American. This country, I'm born here, you know, but I went every summer till about 8th grade when my grandmother passed away. That was the last summer that I didn't go. And then I went back as an adult, maybe 5, 6 years ago. I did 2 trips, one for business and then one handling some of my father's issues.
Mhm.
So I got to see the place from the way I see things, you know, and I didn't like what I saw. The hotel I stayed at had a lot of foreigners. You know me, I ask questions. So the Israelis have bought they own the things coming in. Ports.
The ports, yeah. Mhm.
When they come in from plane. What's that called?
The airports and all that. You talking about the what do you call that?
Like when cargo comes in. So basically, they're in charge of every shipment that comes into the country.
Freight is freight, import, export.
Import.
There you go.
Import. Yeah.
There you go. Right? This is
You've got to specify freight. They're doing freight, so it's like over a certain amount, like the 10,000 pounds and more. They own all of the rights for the freight. So yeah, I know exactly what you're.
right. So that's my guy D, and we're gonna bring him on in a second too. So
Right. Oh my God.
glad you came off camera. So you know, you have guys controlling what comes in and goes out. You have Syrians. Now I'm sitting in my hotel. I'm hearing all sorts of other language outside of the native country that I'm in. And I'm listening to conversations and I'm like, oh shit. And then you have these Syrians. I was going to bakeries, and the bakeries and the grocery stores were owned by the Syrians. And I'm like, and I mean like some nice joints. So this is, you know, this wasn't too far from the hotel, and you can get everything in there that you're accustomed to. And I'm like, yo, what's up with these Syrians with these stores, man? They own them all over. And they're like, yo, you got to think their country is nothing but it's war torn. And I'm like, oh shit. So they came over to Haiti and got all this opportunity to just open up shit. See where I'm going with this? So as I'm going through, I'm cutting mountainside. So I don't just stay in the city. I'm everywhere. And I'm like, I'm looking at the markings on the machinery, and I'm like, who the fuck owns these things? And they're like, oh, the Chinese. And then you got the Dominicans over here, and everybody's digging up something. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh, what are they digging up right now? And come to find out, Haiti has over $30 trillion worth of iridium inside the grounds underneath that country. It's the number one ingredient needed to make nuclear warheads. Okay? Amongst other things.
Mm-hmm.
And then Haiti's sitting on a whole bunch of oil. And I had a vision on this, but that ain't for tonight. So Haiti's sitting on a whole bunch of oil underneath that country. You see where I'm going with this? So every time you see some type of earthquake or mudslide, it's always at that point where things seem to be getting better. You know, you take 2 steps forward and these guys are hitting you with the weapons of mass destruction. They've told us what it was. They had the name for it. They just didn't tell you what the technology was. So they're able to affect the weather. You know, this country, you telling me this is just happening to Haiti. DR is right there. For all the shit that they do to Haitians, you're not going to do anything on that land. And it's just this country, mudslide, earthquake, you name it, it's always something. And the first people to come to their aid is who? Fucking Americans.
Yeah.
So the Americans, they've owned this country since they kicked out Papa Doc, the dictator, back in the day. So growing up, I would hear the stories about him, and they would tell me this is when Haiti, this is from my father, this is when Haiti was at its best. Not just my dad. A lot of people said that when it was under dictatorship. He made sure that there was only one rule, and it was don't speak out against government. But there was opportunity out there. They had carnival, things were thriving, tourism was there. But you just had this dude that was just like, you know, he had some cops that was doing the most in the streets. No free speech. It's a country built on like a revolution. That ain't gonna last that long. So the Americans needed him out, and they do what they do normally. End up extraditing him to like Paris or somewhere. You know, they kind of let you keep the money and all that, and you know, they don't do away with you because you got a lot of dirt on a lot of people too.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to get up out that country. And then they put in, if I'm messing up my timeline, but at some point this church guy came in named Aristide, right? So now it's a play on religion and all that, right? So since that, there was a guy that attempted to overthrow the government during that time. And he's the people's champ. Okay? This is what he's known for. So as that thing is building up speed, right? The current government allowed the United States to extradite him. Following this, right? So he had to come back to the States, and he had to do, I want to say 6 years in Miami on some shit. Okay? So they got him out the country. Guess who just came home?
Oh.
That guy just came home. His name is Guy Philippe. Right? So I'm going to show you a clip of him. And I'm going to tell you what's about to happen in Haiti.
Was that him walking around through the neighborhoods and all that, shaking hands? Everybody was kind of cheerful.
Untouchable right now, right? Because remember, they touched the president.
Hmm.
This one could set off something even crazier if something was to happen. So okay. So just the other day, and I'm slipping right now, but there's a country in Africa whose current leader overthrew the government, right? So these guys are building up these forces that could overtake these smaller governments because Haiti doesn't really have a real army. The United States never really allowed that to happen. Okay. So when you have a country with where they don't have a strong army, you could get steamrolled. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
This is how you could touch a president. How you think? What do you think would happen if somebody touched the United States president on a trip somewhere? Like, what do you think would happen to that country? So that's the part where you got to be able to flex enough muscle for somebody to not even think about it. So when you're talking about Kim Jong-un and certain type of guys where you're just like, I don't know, man. Like they have the intel on what capabilities those guys have.
Mm-hmm.
Champ, can things hit us from over here?
Yeah, for sure.
Pinpoint accuracy.
Knock a whole state off the map.
How about the whole East Coast?
Facts. Definitely
Okay.
can happen.
As long as I'm in good company. I don't want to be the last guy.
Always in reach.
Right. So blow this thing up. Let's start over. Not like that. We got to blow the old system up.
Right.
So now you got this guy who's the people's champ, and there's a possibility. I mean, he's going up against a big army, but when I looked at it, I'm like, but you got to fly into this country to come do something. So this is where you take care of people from the ground. You letting these people in the front door. So the nation in Africa, and the name would come to me, the guy overthrown the government. These guys weren't doing anything. They were selling the country out to the Europeans. They were coming there, diamonds, all sorts of stuff. So he came in, he took over, he kicked all the Europeans out. Boom. They took back control of the land and they started a mining refinery company. So what they found out was they found a way to all the leftovers, debris from the gold and stuff they were mining, there's small particles. And if you mine that enough, they started making gold out of the small particles. So there's a bunch of countries in Africa that want to kind of get rid of, because it piles up after a while. So it's like it's always been waste.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what the guy's doing to bring the economy back. So he's creating jobs off of it, and it's a whole system that's bringing that government money now. Bro, they got the whole country moving. And you see it as much as this technology is put here to connect us, you see how much disconnect these guys are trying to do right now. They're not going to win this one. And if they do, that shit is going to be whack. Like super whack. So I was just telling Champ earlier, I'm like, all right, when our portfolios are here and they want to tax you, what happens to all the rug pulls we were part of? Like the ETH that I lost here and the staking there that like there's a lot of money that you didn't even really account for in crypto. So what do? Do you look at the money that you came in with to on ramp? And then you have your wins within the industry, then you tend to offset those type of things. And you're kind of playing this back and forth seesaw game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
As you watching certain projects, it's like certain projects are just sitting there. Now XRP is just 2 quarters, 2 fucking quarters, man.
That conversation we had the other day, that was wild.
Should have recorded that one.
Yeah, nah, for sure.
So yeah, just listen, just be a little, figure out what's happening in the world too, because I'm telling you, like, think about it, if the United States didn't have that control they had to garner us this much safety, I heard a guy say, what do you think would happen if that power that the United States had was in the hands of like Putin or Kim Jong-un, and how would they treat us here? Like, just let that sink in a little bit. That's why I said the terrorist thing, because it's more like, if I'm not fucking with you, you're not fucking with me. Let's just figure out a way to just make trade. That's it. Everybody has something. There's enough money on the table for everybody. Stop. So that means at some point somebody broke the code. Even with the Haitian situation, I found out that there was an agreement that was made, like a declaration of how things were going to be done. That was going to be launched in February. So you telling me this president has been dead for how many years now, and they haven't ran another free election? So when I was out there, the Clintons, I found out that Haiti has the most variety of mangoes in the world. The most variety. Like, you just pick them up on the side of the road. Guess who owns the exporting of mangoes in Haiti?
China.
The Clintons. Right? So I go out there, I'm looking at real estate now. There's land for sale and a lot of land around water and beaches. Untapped beaches, just raw. So I'm like, yo, what's going on here? Some look like there was probably houses all over, and somehow they're not there anymore. But I saw a few shells, and I'm like, yo, I like these lots. And then come to find out, you have the Saudi Arabians own a lot of that stuff right there. So the whole waterfront is tied up. So that's a telling sign that something's happening. So they've been giving this country aid to hold it back. You know what I'm saying? And then always causing destruction at some point, just to really like just bury these people. And then they have these the deportees, when they get sent down there, they have a whole kidnapping ring thing that they're doing. So yeah, this is like American mentality now. Right. So I heard a story about, slaves, and I never thought about this. They'll never tell you this narrative, where the girl, she was from Africa, and she was telling us, like, they trained American slaves here and they sent them back to Africa, and they started like a new ideology because people thought they were smart. So they brought back a slave mentality. I was like, what the fuck? Devil's in the details. Yo, the truth is more wilder than the lie, man. Like, I'm like, what the fuck? It was a bad story before, but this one is even crazier.
Yeah.
This shit wicked. FX1 Sports, hello. I'm not paying $3,000 to buy it, but whatever, I might even raise the money. Who knows? I'd be the wildest dude. But I'll record that shit for shits and giggles, though. That could be an NFT. $3,000. It was right on screen in real time.
That's wild, man. Now you see those who've been with us for a while. Now you see why we said
send the money. Send the money. Bitcoin Rodney, these guys are eating great, man. Now we just gonna ask for money. Every time we do something, we just gonna ask. We're gonna take tithe. Since we moved to that $50 model all in, we taking tithes.
I heard on the 18th for what is it, the 18th or the 19th? 18th.
One of them 2 days. Yeah, we're launching. We're launching.
You sure that's ain't there something going on? Skyton Academy, something brilliant happening. It's something like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping.
Nah, they know what it is.
Let's go.
Man, we've been working hard on that one.
Let's go.
Yeah,
just want to put that on record. Let that live forever.
I'm done. Yeah, that ain't it. Oh, and drop the ETH gate tomorrow if you can.
Oh yeah, nah. I'll break it down and I throw it up today.
All right. Yeah, if you guys didn't see the ETH story, if you want into 1%, that's it. And it's coming out now too. So, but we wanted you guys to get well, a chance perspective on it. He killed it.
Appreciate that. Definitely appreciate it.
That was classic. I was waiting to drop that one.
Yeah, so Steve knows this, but I've been talking to one of the guys who was one of the initial founders in with ETH and that whole situation before the ICO. So this is like early. And I've been going back and forth with him on Twitter. So I'm trying to get him on the platform as well as a couple other people so we can add, extra value to you guys. So, y'all don't always have to hear the stories from us. Y'all can hear it from people who was instrumental in the creation of some of these projects. So we'll give y'all updates as they come along.
Yeah, I like where this is going.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we just need to grow the community. That's all. And then listen, the best thing you guys could do, honestly, is just bring a friend in. That's it. For obvious reasons. Because they're running out of time. And that's just not going to be easy to navigate. And you're going to be priced the fuck out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Trust me, when those investment guys get into this space and they start buying those nodes, they're going to be buying them all up. Trust me. Unless they code it in a way where, you stop people from being able to do that, but then that's not really decentralized, right?
Nope.
It's like Helium Mobile. They flip-flop so much on how to earn. I'm like, I don't know. It'd be consistent now, though. Yeah, I'm done, man. I ain't got nothing else.
Okay.
You got all the links?
Yeah, I dropped everything for them. And I was gonna drop something. Yes, I'll tell you, you're spot on. That is the new oil. Yeah, I know that. And I seen a message in the chat before I go get off. Somebody said something about people was afraid to jump from their current carriers onto Helium Mobile. What's crazy is I was in their seat, right? And I wasn't like scared to jump. I just was reluctant to because I had been on the platform for so long. I had AT&T for super long. I've never changed my number ever, right? So the first number I had since before college, that's the same number I still have to this day. Like I ain't ducking or hiding. So it's the same. But long story short, Steve was like, yo, bro, he's like, think about it. Look at what you're paying a month. So something was just like, it was on auto pay. So for all these years, I never even really thought about what I was paying per month. I was paying about $150 a month, right? Just for cell phone service. Everything was unlimited. I'm always on the phone. Me and Steve conduct business, everything. So I do everything from my phone on the go. So he's like, bro, think about that. Do the math on what you're spending annually on $150 a month, and then do the math on what you're spending for $20 a month. And he was like, the same thing you getting for that 150, I'm getting it right now for $20. My whole family is on a plan for $80. And I'm like, when he said that, that's when it made me move. And I said, you know what? On top of that, I was already looking at the fact that you get to earn rewards in the process just for existing. Anytime you leave the house, you go to a mall or you go to the movies, wherever, and your mapping is on, you're accruing even more rewards. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, this token is actually worth money now. So while I'm earning money every month, in just less than 30 days, I've made more than what my bill was. So I'm looking at this like, I'd be a fool not to move. Like the little bit of work that it took me, I think 4 or 5 days. And it was just because there was an influx of people and it wasn't a lot of customer service reps at the time. So just them little 4 or 5 days that I had to, port my number over, wait for customer service to get back to me and do what I needed to. I've made enough to pay my bill for the entire year already. You know what I mean? So now that extra money that I was spending on my phone bill, that can go into other projects, that can go into other things. Right now we're doing DPIN. So, we getting into those type of projects. Some free, some are paid, but we purchasing hardware. Like we're all over the place. You know what I mean? To bring you guys this value, but it just makes sense. Ultimately, that's just the tail. It makes sense. So when Steve dropped that DPIN, I didn't even get involved in that. Like, so I'm playing catch up on some of this stuff myself. But when I say like these projects are insane, and they make you bread. They make money for you. It's a no-brainer. It's the new way of transacting, of getting bread, doing nothing. Tell your people stop playing, Wayne. Tell them stop playing.
I tried told him. I tried told him.
Chicago. Steve, you muted.
Oh, I said a couple people did that brain training, initial assessment. Anybody want to give a feedback review of their findings?
Well,
On now,
cracking up in the back.
turn the camera off. Let's go. Pull out that. What's the thing called? Stenograph. What is it?
Juanita,
Report.
Juanita, you got something for it?
Come on, I need to type it up.
No, I did. She did my assessment, and I'm telling you, oh, it's on point. It's very much on point. But what blew me away is when I scored at a 5-year-old level on my processing speed.
No. What 5?
Yes.
What?
A 5-year-old.
A grown 5 or like a just turned 5?
Probably just turned 5. So yeah, I was very, very impressed. So she's, I'm waiting on you all now, because
Yeah, we're gonna put a group together.
Yeah,
Once we
yeah.
launch, we'll have the group info. Wow, but hold on, but how is your processing speed though?
Slow. Just that point. That was just that one particular. She actually breaks down the different tests and what they actually
Gotcha.
what they actually measure. Now, I ain't gonna tell you about the one that was 90 percentile now. All right.
Okay.
He's in our 70s, 80s, and 90s, but I did have that one. And when I think about it, I don't know why it's that way, but it won't be long. She's gonna help me with it. But it was the processing speed, which is why I'm probably on here and be looking at you all like, what the heck are you talking about? Because it's not registering. I go back and watch the video, so yeah, but it was definitely on point. And the things in which I did, excel, they were on point too. And they were because I've been doing what I've been doing for 30 years. And so there's a skill set and there's parts of my brain that I use that I'm on autopilot with.
Right.
That's there, but you get me out of that world and at home around the dinner table, and I'm like slow in the processing speed. Like I'm over here with the little ones, 5-year-old. I was like, oh crap. But so I'm it was hilarious. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. All my numbers are up here with the dots on the chart, and this one is down here, like at the very bottom. What is that? But yeah, it was very good. So I'm waiting on the rest of you all. Come on board now,
Listen, at the least, take the assessment. Trust me. Like, my son, he finished. My daughter's still in. She's almost done. But I saw the improvements in him, and I'm still seeing them. Like that thing works.
I
it's not easy.
I was thinking, Steve, when I was in school, we have to type like 160, 180 words a minute on the machine to get out, right? And at one point I got stuck. I reached a plateau. And I remember them talking about I listened to everything speed up. If I was trying to pass the 140 test, I would listen to 160 and 180. So when someone spoke at 160, 140, I was a breeze. When she talked about that Notre Dame,
metronome, yeah.
Yeah, they go to slow processing, y'all. When she talked about the metronome, I was like, that is so on point. So I knew that she knew what she was talking about, and she will be able to in the areas in which, I'm need improvement. Yeah, it's definitely going to be an asset. Definitely.
That's dope. Yeah, so we're gonna do a part 2 to that masterclass. That's already uploaded, so you guys will have access to that when we launch. And then she added another document for you guys too. So there's another value in there. And then we'll do a part 2, which would discuss what we just broke down here with other people. And then the part 3 would bring together when everybody finishes training and just kind of, you know, starts processing quicker. It's on. I'm sure my process speed might be a little crazy too. As fast as I think I am, I might be going really slow because I can't catch these meme coins. So listen, my good brother Daryl down here, I wanted to bring the story up because it actually made my day. That entire week, I had people calling me out of the blue. And this was a week, it was like heavy with my son. We were at it with this basketball thing, and I was over it. You know, and then a lot of reinforcement came in, and then D hit me, and you just got to know him to know that you're about to get some shit dropped on you too. Subtle, because he'll tell you, I'm not really here to do this, and then he's and I'm like, I'm for the shit. So I learned a lot, right? So the conversation was, I started on Instagram with him, and I sent him something. It was a news article about Oakland and the crime, and the crime, and the franchise stores closing down, and I'm like, In-N-Out Burger, and I'm like, I don't know, this doesn't seem right. You know, it's the news too. So I got to question it. So I sent it right over to him. Boom, free for a call. And then he proceeds to tell me what's happening in the Oakland area. Right. So this is why you can't, boots on the ground will always trump any story that somebody can tell, especially if it's from like a trusted source of yours. So, you know, he breaks down the entire city to me in like 20 minutes. And I'm like, all right, I got it. You know, whereas the news would have made it seem like it's this burning building. I mean, granted, everybody's going through something right now with as far as any inner city in America. I don't care where it's at. There's crime, there's a lot of shit happening. These young kids is bugging. But there's no opportunity, so it's not their fault. This history repeats itself. Yeah, so D, come on. I appreciated that. That was a good call.
Well, yeah.
Because you never get those random calls like that. All this shit is like here, or it'll be over social media. Like, yo, we got to get on. We got to talk. Like, it's one of those. So, thanks for initiating that one.
No problem. But again, it's like what you said is trying to really decipher what information is getting put out there, where it's coming from, who is really serving, like who is this information really serving in the long run. So it's a lot of articles, especially Oakland, the Bay Area, about all these corporations pulling out and moving away from the city. But the thing about this area is traditionally a mom and pop shop spot. Like all the good restaurants, all the good spaces aren't your commercial places. So In-N-Out Burger leaving this area by the airport because Hagenberger has been there for 40 years, and people are going to hit Hagenberger. Like, you know, you get tourists that come in and maybe want to see these things, but for the most part, this area is very rooted in its people. So for restaurants and chains, they traditionally don't do well in this place anyway. So for them to like really start to highlight that at this point, and also like, oh, it's war zone, and you know, you got all this. I feel pretty good. Immigration, immigration is everywhere. I'll definitely say that. But it's kind of zoned out. So East Oakland is more of the Black areas. As you come down, you get Hispanic in like the mid-30s to about 14th Street. And then from 14 down, it's Little Saigon, that's more Asian. So it's Oakland and Philly to me are very similar in a way. I call them very ethnocentric cities. There are a lot of different cultures, and culture is super celebrated. So it seems like it's a lot because it's celebrated so lively across the city, across everywhere. But culture is so celebrated here, corporations don't do well, and that's just how it is. MedMen, the chain of the cannabis dispensary. Like I worked at MedMen for a little bit. I was trying to get on that side, trying to get some good. I wanted a license, but for the most part, they got shut out. It got shut out. Nobody would come shop there. Nobody. It's just not a corporate space here. But if corporations want to make it this space, you know, you create this tactical badland. Now the governor is sending 160 CHP, like what are they called, highway patrolmen to assist with the crime in Oakland. And it's like, what are they going to do? That's the type of crime, like patrol the streets. I don't understand it. So they're trying to paint a picture of something that's not what it is to get the masses on board with whatever they want to do to this space. And it's in that realm is scary. I'm not scared to walk around and see black people. It's like, you see black people, it's love around here. You see you get a love everywhere. So for that picture to be painted is weird. Now, again, there is, to what Steve was saying, we do have a lot of inflation. We do have a lot of cities. So kids is kids, like, they're breaking in cars. They're stealing alternators. But I had the same thing happen when I lived in Philly. I had the same thing happening when I lived in Atlanta. So it's been no different to me than your typical inner city situation. It's just the way that it's being publicized and what they're doing with that publicity. Again, that kind of is iffy. Oakland had a black police chief for, I would say 10 years, and he was from Oakland. They loved him. And we got a new mayor in November, and she relieved him of his duty. And there hasn't been a police chief since. So again, it's all of these different things. Police want to strike for their chief back. The city council wants the chief. And it's just a whole lot of, again, politics in the play with that. And they'll tell you that it's a war zone, but if you look around, we just got Credit Karma just put a big tower. AT&T just built a big tower right behind me. So they're coming in here. They're pushing us out. And that's the way that they're using these to push people out. The Asians here, the Hispanics here, the Blacks here, they own their properties. They own these storefronts. They can't get them out any other way but to super tax and super police to where nobody wants to come in and visit their areas. But yeah.
This is what's happening. And this is not the only city.
Nah.
Not the only city.
Nah.
Detroit,
And they did it in San Francisco to where it's all corporate. Like they got the people are no longer there. It's just straight corporate. San Francisco is a 5-minute ride over the bridge. I've gone 5 hours to LA more times than I've gone to San Francisco. And it's right there. It's just nothing, the soul of it is not there. I think that's kind of what we're talking about. You don't feel the soul of it, and it's not a place where you feel anything. So, I like to go where I feel good.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I'm a big retail guy. So just kind of watching, the malls, the big box retail stores kind of going under. And I'm like, now that you're saying that, it just seems like things are moving more to a just that boutique vibe again.
Now, if you hear about Mr. Fab store on Broadway shutting down, then there's the question, but nah, they not. The mom and pop shops are huge here, huge, and they're heavily supported by the community. When you see all these different
circulating,
when you see all these situations with the flash mobs, which again they were doing, kids was running into H&M when I was in Philly 10 years ago. Like it's nothing new, but they're running into, again, these corporate spots. They're not, the mom and pop shops are still doing their thing. So
yeah,
they're painting that picture. Now I'm interested to see. Like I said, the governor just deployed 120 CHP officers to the city of Oakland. So I don't know what that's going to look like, but I'm interested to see it. The news came out yesterday.
Keep us posted on that one.
Yeah, for
Definitely
sure.
will. Yes, I would encourage you guys to get on the phone with people sometimes. 15 minutes went a lot further than what we've been doing back and forth. Not that I don't like the back and forth on IG, but there's no time in that,
Mhm.
you know. So that's why we do dot connects too. Then we shoot the breeze. It's not always heavy. All right, take us out. FX1 Sports, Hello TV, $3,000, $12.99 to see everything, $3,000 to actually transact in it. Y'all got my wallet address.
Yeah, I dropped it in there for him.
Let's figure this shit out.
Let's go. Yo, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we loved you guys being present with us. That was Dot Connect Wednesdays, episode 45. Hello, FX1. And ETH is a meme coin. Let's go.
Oh, damn.
Peace, y'all.